What's up, guys? Welcome to the Wan Man Show, the number one fight podcast in Singapore because we are the only fight podcast in Singapore. I think we're still the only fight podcast in Singapore. I am the Man, and with me is my co-host, the Wan. What's up, Wan? How are you doing, man?
I'm surviving. I mean, the gym is back running, so that keeps me busy, keeps me not go crazy. But it's too much work, to be honest.
Yeah,
but work is good though. I think a lot of people are losing their jobs and going back home to their countries and all that. So I'm not really complaining. So I'm grateful.
It sounds that you are complaining. You know what else is too much is your hair, man. You need to go and cut it, dude.
Yeah, I think people keep talking about my hair. It's just my silent strategy of getting a sponsor, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, no one's gonna sponsor you with that face. But I know for sure someone might sponsor our guest on the show today.
Yep.
We have the one and only, he calls himself Mr. Fantastique. We have former WBC champion from Singapore, Ashiq. Ashiq, how are you, my friend?
Yes, I'm good. I've been busy working every day. I'm working 2 jobs actually.
What 2 jobs are you working as right now?
I'm doing swab tests and training people freelance.
Wait. You're doing swab tests as in COVID-19 swab tests?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I think you are like the first frontliner that we actually have on the show. Thank you so much for your contribution and risking your life.
It's the money, lah. High risk job, high paying, you know.
Look at this one. Ungrateful. Can you just be grateful that at least we have somebody on the show?
Fair enough. I mean, he used to be breaking people's noses. Now he's digging them up.
What? How do you even get this job, Ashiq?
I found it online actually. Then I just apply it straight away.
You get selection or audition?
No. Like just 1 day training, then you can start.
Train.
Okay.
They have to chochok each other's nose.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Wait, but was there any point of time when you were going for this job that you thought that, okay, this might be dangerous?
No.
No. But the money must be really good then. Okay. So what's the weirdest swab test that you've done so far? What's the weirdest reaction that you've had?
Weirdest one was nothing much. Just this guy, like, he's overreacting. Like before I put the swab in his nose, he already like and screaming.
Yeah lah, his nose lost virginity already, of course.
And how many swab tests do you do per day?
Per day, average about 1,008.
Wait, 1,008? You yourself do 1,008?
One person maybe about 200 plus.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Wow, that's even more than you dig your nose, I think. But
Yeah.
So you do that, you chop. Ashiq was here.
I'm not sure about one though, because I think one digs his nose more than that. Have you seen his nose?
My nose, I think no need to swab test. My nose, I use cotton bud enough already.
Cotton bud.
Ridhwan's nose is the swab test, so no need.
I'm the detector.
But in all seriousness though, I think you are quite brave to pick up that job, and I think on behalf of Wan and me for the Wan Man Show and our listeners also, thank you so much for all the services that you've rendered to us Singaporeans, man.
Yeah, sure.
But this is news to me because I didn't know that you were a swab tester. But we obviously got you on the show to talk about your bravery in the ring. You are a boxer, and you are also one of the first, if not the first Singaporean to actually hold a WBC silver belt. Let's take a walk down memory lane, and let's start with, at what age? You're 25 now?
Yes.
But at what age did you start boxing, and what actually got you into boxing?
Oh, wow. I started boxing at 14 years old. And I actually joined. I wanted to join this kickboxing class. Yeah, since I saw this poster on Clementi Sports Hall, like they put kickboxing class. Then I went to pay for it. Then got to know the coach told me it's like pure boxing school. So I joined. Just because I was fighting a lot in school, outside school. That-
So what you're trying to say is you cannot con, huh?
Yeah. Kind of caught by the poster.
Are they still there?
Now no more. Now it's like become Aries Fight Club.
Oh, that is.
Oh. So the beginning of Aries Fight Club was a con club lah. Is that what you're trying to say?
Wow. This one not I say one.
Yeah, going
Just
straight
because
to
my
that.
face here, people say it's me.
Okay. Just to be clear, people, I know you guys are hypersensitive because of COVID and being locked up in your own houses, but that was a joke, okay?
Before I dig your nose.
That is a joke. So relax. We're not saying anything bad about Aries Boxing Club. Just saying that Ashiq cannot con because he Malay. But okay, but you also brought out that you were fighting a lot in school. What were you fighting for? Well, what was most? Are you fighting over girls? Are you fighting over what?
The last Miss Soto.
I usually fight for my friends. Like they got into some problem, then they just call me to settle for them.
What kind of problems do secondary school people face?
I can't remember also.
Not worth remembering also.
Yeah.
But so when you go and settle these fights for your friends, you didn't know how to fight yet lah.
Yeah, I was just like, I watch a lot of movies, so I just follow whatever.
You sound like Ridhwan when he fought Abunda. He looks like a movie star, but he's the person who gets beaten up.
Mine is Rocky Part 1.
But I mean, there must be a reason why your friends called you to fight, right? Were you like aggressive or angry all the time? That's why like they think you can fight.
I was always angry and kind of hot-headed during school days.
Yeah. I guess also at that age, it's the hormones, right? One.
I think so.
So when you join that Muay Thai club, which turned out to be a boxing club, what were you trying to get out of it? Were you trying to learn how to fight better so that you can fight better for your friends? Or, were you just joining it because you thought, it looks fun?
Actually, both. It looked fun and I thought I could learn to fight better, But end up my coach like brainwashed me to not fight outside,
Okay. Just now we say you cannot con, okay?
Yeah.
Sometimes cannot con is good, sometimes cannot con is bad. But now you say brainwash. But I have to say this kind of brainwash is good. So your coach from Aries is good. Okay. So if I was if that was a joke, this is truth. The coach who brainwash Ashiq is actually good. But did that actually stop you from fighting outside? Did you really stop fighting outside?
Not really, but it kind of helped because I remember my coach told me like your hands are a weapon now, considered as weapon. So you have to be careful, like you might kill someone outside. And obviously I don't want to kill anyone.
I think I remember a lot of old timers always say this kind of thing. Your hands are a weapon outside. You need license now. You need to register your name because you're a boxer. I have no idea how true this is because I've never registered myself as a boxer.
Wait. Okay, but how do you even who do you register to?
I think the process, right? You must go to the police station. Say, I want to register my hands because I'm a boxer. Then you must shadow box.
No. You go to the listen. You go to the police station. I'm telling you, boxers, listen up to me, okay? Go to the police station. You go and line up, and then when they ask you, okay, what are you here for? You just say that I have weapons. Just say I have weapons. Full stop. I tell you, they will bring you somewhere. Confirm, they will bring you somewhere.
Skip the line.
And you will confirm skip the line one. You say, I have weapons. I'm here to register my weapons. Good luck, bro. Then you go and call all the old timers who tell you to register to get you out of jail.
Yeah, that's true. They're so stupid.
That would be stupid. But I mean, Ashiq, when you picked up boxing, obviously you've been fighting before that. Do you realize that there is, what made you like boxing? Was it because there is a different way to fight and you enjoy the way of fighting through boxing?
Yeah, I found out that boxing is kind of unique, like just using your hands and your footwork and like hit and not get hit. Then my coach was like telling me about footwork a lot. Then he told me about Muhammad Ali. Then I went to watch Muhammad Ali's fight every day. And I like kind of inspired by Muhammad Ali.
So does that mean, you felt like you thought that you could make something out of yourself in boxing?
Yeah.
So at what age was this when you realized that, you actually might have a future in boxing?
At 15 years old.
Oh, that's fast.
Yeah.
That escalated quickly.
I have to say that coach is very good at brainwashing.
But you said you were very hot-headed and aggressive when you were back in school. Did it help? Did boxing really help you to be cooler, think better?
Yeah, helped me to be more humble. Especially when I get beaten up during sparring, then I know there's many people out there better than me.
Who beat you up in sparring?
Yeah, who beat you up?
At that time was my friend Javier and Denson.
I'm a bit disappointed my name's not included, but okay.
Yeah.
No, firstly, what do you think that he even thinks of you as a friend? If he say my enemies beat him up, then maybe he'll say your name lah.
Fair enough.
I'm more disappointed that he cannot beaten up by Chinese boys.
After you kena con at Clementi, you get beaten by Chinese boys.
But that's all. I mean, that's always the case, right? We've had a few guests on the show who thought they could fight, but when they started sparring, they realized oh shit. There's actually a lot of people better than me. But I always realize this. I always realize that it's like what Ashiq said. It's humbling.
Yeah.
You guys. But then you guys don't run away. You guys actually stayed on and you guys fought on to become better.
Do you still remember your first sparring session and how it's like?
Yeah. I totally throw like cowboy fight. And then I throw hooks
swimming.
Swimming, stirring mee goreng or something. Yeah, then I always got bloody nose. Then come home, my mom will be shocked. Yeah.
That does not sound like fun, but did what made you come back for more and more?
It's satisfying. You get beat up, then you still want to try and beat them up again, but you can't.
I mean, one, you must be able to relate to what Ashiq is saying.
I think for me, I remember my first sparring session. It was in KBS, and I should have known I'm getting myself into trouble because that guy name is Rocky. And he's
Wow.
and he's Korean or something. Yeah, so I got knocked down like 3 or 4 times in my first sparring session. And back then, we've never had a ring in Kadis boxing school. So our sparring ground is like the size of a basketball court. so so I will run from one end to the other end, get beat up, go down, get back up again, get chased to the other end, get beat up, go down again. Yeah, so that was my first sparring session now. And it's quite addicting because at that point of time we were broke. I mean, I was broke, and I guess boxing was something that I really look forward to do. And then I just go back home, just watch videos. Then it's like I just want to try this in the next sparring session. It might work. But then it didn't. So I think it's just the thrill of wanting to be better. I think it's more about proving to myself that I can be better. I think that's what's pulling me to the sport.
Yeah, it's true.
Was it the same for you, Ashiq?
Yeah. Same.
I mean, we've talked about how you started off, but how long was it when after you joined that kickboxing club that was actually a boxing club, and you got brainwashed? How long was the time that it took for you to start competing?
It took me about 7 or 8 years.
So that you took boxing classes and you trained boxing for 7 to 8 years before you actually got into the ring.
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually a long time. What's up with that?
Because
He
at that time,
took 1 year to decide to be a pro. It took 7 years to start. Something is wrong somewhere.
yeah, at that time I was actually playing takraw, like sepak takraw. I was more into that sport. So I trained boxing like maybe 1 week, then next week I don't train. Then 1 week I train. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you popular among the girls?
Wait, what? Wait, how did this question even come up?
Because takraw, then boxing, cool bro. This is the mud pack, beginner pack.
Okay. Ashiq, can you please answer him? He wants to know whether he needs to pick up takraw or not. Please answer him.
Okay, she's not answering. She's going to keep it a secret till he dies.
Sorry, Wan, you will never know whether takraw will make you famous with the girls or not.
Okay, it's okay. I accept my fate.
But okay, so you were not training regularly at that point of time. Okay, what changed? What made you want to compete? I mean, some people are in boxing for 7, 8 years and they never had the intention to compete. They just take it for the fact that it's improves their fitness and their health and stuff like that. But what made you suddenly want to compete after 7 to 8 years?
It's like after I ORD from NS, then I decided I want to try competing just once. Then I joined Juggernaut because it's kind of cheap, the price. And
Wow.
then I can do Muay Thai, I can do boxing at the same time. Then I started competing after I ORD.
So how long was it since you joined Juggernaut that you started competing?
About few months, 3 months, I think.
But when you joined Juggernaut, I mean, the trainers at Juggernaut knew that you wanted to compete, lah.
Yeah.
Okay, that means they must have seen some potential in you to let you compete.
Yeah, like in the class when I train, then they ask me like, "Hey, you want to fight?" I say, "Yeah, I want." That's why I joined here. And then same thing. I get beat up by all these national boxers, Chun Hao, Xiao Wei, all this.
You keep on getting beaten up by Chinese guys, dude.
Just make up one Malay name for the next time you ask this question.
No, actually, we just want you to say that you got beaten up by Ridhwan, so we're like, oh, Ridhwan. But, okay. First, my first question is, when you joined Juggernaut,
What's that juggernaut?
Juggernaut, Juboka, what? Listen properly, I say Juggernaut, not Juggernaut. When you joined Juggernaut, you said that firstly, it's kind of cheap. I don't know the rates, but it's good that it's affordable, yes. But you also say that you had the chance to do Muay Thai and boxing.
Yeah.
So the question is, when you went to Juggernaut, did you really get to do Muay Thai, or was it another con?
Yeah, I really get to do.
Okay, see? Once bitten, twice shy, bro.
But then why didn't you go into Muay Thai? But I think you did. I think you did Muay Thai first. Then you competed in boxing, right?
No, my first fight was boxing actually. I think he saw some potential in boxing. Then he asked me, "You want to fight boxing or not?" I say, "I actually want to fight Muay Thai, but I don't mind like doing both."
By the end, you didn't do both.
Yeah.
Kena con again.
I'm not saying anything. This one is all Ridhwan.
No, but I remember talking to your coach. Then I said that this boy Ashiq has got potential. I think his hands are pretty good for boxing. And Arvin said yes, it's true. He's gonna try you out for some fights, and he did that. Then the next thing I know, you were competing in some amateur fights.
Yeah.
Then you went pro. But I think a lot of questions came about, like, why did you even turn pro? Like, do you even have the right to turn pro? I don't know whether asking this is a bit too fast in this whole podcast. But how many amateur fights did you have again?
I have 4 amateur boxing, 6 amateur kickboxing.
So all the 4 amateur boxing fights you won, right?
Yeah.
You won the national for the youth or something, correct?
Yeah, correct.
So never thought of going into the national team first or something?
I actually thought of, but yeah, since Arvin asked me like, "You want to turn pro?" Then yeah, I don't mind.
Everything don't mind.
Wait. I got so many questions. Okay, first of all, before I begin my tirade on and some of my questions, I want to make it clear to all the fans here and all our listeners. I think that Arvin is a great trainer.
Yeah, he is.
Arvin can spot talent. A lot of talented boxers have gone through Arvin. Mm-hmm. And, Arvin was also one of the first few coaches to realize that Ridhwan had potential. And, he has mentioned some good stuff about Ridhwan in the media and stuff like that. Ridhwan, don't forget that, okay? But in all honesty, 4 fights and then you're turning pro. In my point of view, I just want to know, Ashiq, when Arvin asked you, do you want to turn pro after 4 fights? What was in your mind? Was it like, this guy for real or not? Or is it like, yes, I'm good enough, and he's acknowledging that I'm good enough, that's why he's asking me whether I want to turn pro?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't think that I'm good enough. Like, I was wondering why he asked me this question. Then I asked him, like, you really think I can turn pro? Then he say, yeah, you got potential, everything. Then I'm like, okay lah, if my coach believes in me, then I think I can. Because I'm always like low self-esteem kind of person. I look down on myself a lot. Yeah.
And at what age was this when you turned pro?
22 or 23.
Okay. Okay. First and foremost, let's address a few things here. I think this is the second time that we're hearing how Arvin managed to get one of his fighters to turn pro, because he and his fighter has a very close relationship, and the fighter really believes in Arvin as much as Arvin trusts his fighter. The other person that we had on this show who told us almost a similar story was
Shafiq.
Shafiq the Slasher. Oh, then that means there's one more also because
Shall we?
no,
Shall we
no,
turn pro?
not Chow Wei. Oh no, I forgot his name. Rafi Majid.
Mm.
Oh.
So Rafi also had a my memory, if my memory serves me right, Rafi was also like anything, but then like it was because like he trusts Arvin and Arvin, showed enough confidence and faith in him. That's why he turned pro lah.
Yeah.
Which I think isn't a bad thing because like I said, Arvin's if you're ready, Arvin would say that you're ready lah. But at the same time, I'm also quite curious, you're 22 years old, you've been boxing since you were 14, 4 amateur fights, 4 wins, but why still the low self-esteem?
Yeah. I just have this problem since the kid. Like, even my studies and all. Yeah. That's why, yeah, I don't really have like much friends also.
Right. Okay. So this is a problem that you've always had, lah.
Yeah.
But do you think? I mean, in my point of view, do you think boxing has helped you kind of handle the situation a bit better?
Yeah, like gives me a bit more confidence with myself.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, man, if I am 22 years old and I've won 4 amateur fights, and then my coach tells me that, hey, you want to turn pro, I'll be like, yeah, I'm the champ, dude.
Yours is pro goal, different.
But that's the truth, right? I mean, that's something to be proud of. I mean, four wins out of 4 fights, and then your coach, who the person who sees you every day, have so much faith in you. That's always something to be proud of. So obviously you went on to turn pro, and how much different was pro fighting to amateur fighting? Because I think 4 fights is not a lot of experience in amateur fighting.
Yeah.
And then you had to quickly make the transition into pro. How different was it for you?
It was a lot different. Like, first fight, obviously, it's like nerve-wracking for me. And knowing it's like 4 rounds fight. And I think I knocked him out at the 3rd round. Yeah. I wanted a KO, but yeah, and I got a KO. So
Do you actually plan to get that KO? Why would you want to get a KO? To boost your confidence or what?
yeah, to boost my confidence. And I watched a lot of Ridhwan's fight also.
This is the moment we waited.
I'm actually inspired by Ridhwan.
Some more.
Halfway through the show, now he's showing his true colors. What?
Because I know when we heard that you were going to turn pro, I've heard some noises, some people saying that like who has this guy fought? What does he know about boxing? He doesn't know anything. He's so new. How can he even think he can turn pro? How can the coach even think he's ready to turn pro? Have you heard these noises, or you just choose not to listen?
I never heard of it, but
oh shit! Now
stop making things up in your mind.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's not important because I think you've done so much more than what we all have done, including me. So, but I think boxing, sparring with you, training with you a few times, I think boxing gives you another kind of character, another kind of persona, because when outside of the ring, outside of the boxing gym, I think you are very quiet, you're very insecure maybe, you're not sure of yourself. But when you are boxing, you become a different person. I know it because I spar with you. There's something in your eye that I see. It's like you are talking to yourself. You don't care who I am. You just push me back. But outside the ring, you're just like, I don't have a better word. It sounds like maybe a fanboy. But inside, you don't give a shit. You know, that kind of.
Wait. Okay.
Diam lah, Iman.
I got so many questions again. But first of all, Ashiq, is this all true?
Yeah, it's true.
So you are like an animal, like a beast in the ring, but outside it's another persona altogether.
Yeah. That's one of the reason I kind of like call myself Mr. Fantastic in the ring only. Like outside of the ring, I'm just Muhammad Ashiq, just normal person.
That's a very nice way to put it, and that makes sense. Now the other question is, how do you introduce yourself to girls? Is it Mr. Fantastic or is it Ashiq?
No, because he's a cat man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Arvin doesn't like the name Catman. He says like the Chachat man.
You're going to hell even for laughing at this.
No, wait. If there's somebody in Singapore who knows what a good boxing nickname is, I think it's Arvin, because Arvin came up with the chosen one, right? One?
Yeah.
So you just shut up and listen to Arvin when he says that Catman is not as good as Fantastic, okay? Now my other question is also, this question is for Wan. So Wan, you say that, Ashiq pushes you to, to a limit or to a certain extent while you guys are sparring.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that he's one of those guys, or he is the guy who has given you the hardest sparring you've had so far in Singapore?
I think he is one of the few that can give me a hard time if he chooses to. Because of course, there's some off days, there's some days that he does really well. I think technically, skill-wise, of course, I'm better. But, I mean, he's got his youth, I'm not saying he's not skillful at all. But when he uses his youth, he uses his strength, I think it can overpower me sometimes. Because it's like when I go to the gym, hey, masih shake hand, blah, blah, blah. Then suddenly inside he becomes another person. And I think this comes to the point of the psychology of fighting. So I think some people have to switch on and off. For some people, it comes naturally. So I don't know whether for Ashiq, because you said you are very different. So is it something that you have to get into that zone, or does it like automatically get switched on?
Automatically. Yeah.
Fight mode.
Yeah.
When does it start? Does it start when you wrap your hands, or does it start when you actually go inside the ring? Because I'm trying to think, right? Like, if it starts when you wrap your hands, I've seen Ridhwan wrap his hands before fights before, and he usually wraps his hand quite early, and sometimes he has to go to the toilet after that,
Mm.
So if you wrap your hands already, then you are in beast mode. How? Yeah, you go and pee.
Okay, I think this is a story I haven't told people yet.
Okay. Ashiq, tempo with me now.
This is also probably one of the reasons why I lost the Ambunda fight. Because I think we wrapped the hands too early, and it was freaking cold in Marina Bay Sands. So, and this time it was I had my gloves on, so I had to pee. So me and my trainer went to the toilet. He pulled he pulled out my pants and I had to pee. Yep. So that's the story. The end.
Ashiq, has that ever happened to you?
No.
Has Arvin ever had to pull down your pants?
No, never.
Yeah, because I think the officials already signed the gloves, so I cannot take it out, and I really had to go to the toilet. So Ray back then was like, okay, let's go. Okay, let's go.
Let's go pee.
Yeah, so it's awkward. Yeah, so when I'm walking into the ring, I'm still thinking about this incident, which I hope that I can forget. Yeah, but yeah, so such is life.
Okay, let me. First of all, I just want to say that story is a very lame excuse for your defeat one. So don't even try to tell that to anybody else, okay?
It's just one of the small factors lah.
Itu semua bohong, you know bohong can masuk neraka one. So don't lie to people anymore one. That did not happen, and don't frame Ray into this. Ray did nothing wrong. But then I have a genuine question for both of you.
Mhm.
Is there a set time on when you need to wrap your hands and put your gloves on or not?
Usually, I think the fighters is they will just get ready depending on the schedule of the bouts. Because if you know like you're number 7, maybe it takes like how long for you to get ready? Maybe 30 minutes or 45 minutes, and you can just decide to wrap up early lah. But especially if the fight is televised, right? So the TV people will tell you that you need to be ready within a certain time. If it's not televised, I think it's a bit more relaxed. If you're going live, then you need to be ready by a certain time. Sometimes your gloves are on, but then the previous fights, there's no knockouts, and you just have got no choice but to wait.
But is there a certain time when you like to have your wrap and gloves on?
Yeah.
Ashiq?
I really like to wrap faster. Like, yeah, as soon as possible.
In the bus also you wrap up.
Yeah, sometimes.
He's one of those already. Now cannot make fun.
He wake up, he wrap his hands already, bro. Right after the shower.
Cuci dia wrap sekali.
Speaking of shower, Ashiq, so you a bit of a backtrack here, because we like to talk about showers on the One Man Show, right? You pick up boxing for 8 years before you competed, correct?
Yeah.
So in the 8 years, were you shadow boxing in the shower?
Yeah.
I think you are the longest person to shadow box in the shower before you had a fight in this show ever. Your shadow boxing in the shower must be top class, bro. You had the most practice out of everybody. Okay. All jokes aside, though, it's very unique because, first of all, Ridhwan has a first-hand experience of fighting with you, of sparring with you, obviously, and this is also the first time where he's telling me that somebody has two different personas when in and out of the ring. Because most of the people, like when we talk to people like Rafi, Rafi's like a joker. And it translates when he's in the ring. The way he entertains, the way he moves, like you can see a bit of that jokerness. When Ridhwan is in the ring, you can also see that kind of like arrogant, that smug kind of like look, when he's in the ring, just like how he looks like right now with his long hair. But I also want to ask, right? How much of this Mr. Fantastic in the ring and then Mr. Shy fanboy outside the ring is actually just Ridhwan Kanakon by you?
Wait. What's the question again?
The question is, how much of this is acting and how much of it is really true?
Oh, yeah, I think it's true. It's really true. Like, yeah.
So confirm it's not Ridhwan Kanakon, huh?
Yeah. Totally.
But I think the next time when you and him spar and stuff like that, you should do it even more. You should really meet him, salam, kiss hand, or say your biggest fan, or then he very soft with you. Then inside you remember him. I mean, if you have the advantage, why not? Now that you know that he has a soft spot for you, right? All right, I'm just kidding. Let's move on a bit. Now, Ashiq, I'm looking at your box record here, and I have to say that this looks good, man. First fight, TKO, win. Second fight, TKO, win. Third fight, TKO, win. You must be on top of the world after 3 fights, and all of them ending up with a TKO.
Yeah.
He says, yeah, that's it. I mean, how good were you feeling, man? Were you like, did you tell yourself like, hey, it's a good thing that I turned pro. Look what's happening. 3 fights, 3 KOs. How high was your confidence after those 3 fights?
Like, very high, but I kind of waiting like for someone to knock me out in the future.
Oh, okay. You are inside your head. You're already saying that someone in the future is going to knock you up.
Yeah,
Is that because you were trying to stay humble?
maybe.
But do you think that messes up with your mindset? Like,
Actually, yeah, it does.
how so?
Like, yeah, like the same, low self-esteem. Then, like in boxing, maybe you need a lot of confidence in yourself. Yeah. But for me, I always look down on myself, and it's difficult.
So do you have a chat about this with like your coach? Like, do you have an open conversation? Like, you know what? Like maybe during a bad sparring day, I'm guessing you feel like shit and you beat yourself about it. So does he like play his part and tell you, no, you're actually doing okay, you're on the right track, or do you like battle this on your own? And how do you battle? And how do you cope? You know, different athletes, different fighters cope with differently. So how do you cope with this mental fight?
Yeah, I actually keep it to myself. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I do cry in the toilet, like after a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So you don't get any help for this.
yeah.
So, I mean, okay. First of all, I need to ask, right? The crying in the toilet comes before or after the shadow boxing?
Before.
Okay, before. uh, this sounds quite deep, right? But it's. I mean, I want to get Ridhwan's perspective on this because Ridhwan, you're a boxer, right?
Yeah.
Do you have these kind of thoughts?
I mean, there are days where I feel like I don't deserve to be getting what I'm getting, or I feel like I'm not good enough, or it's just that it's just a matter of time before I can get beaten. But I think these thoughts will always play in my head. But in a way, it's like a way for me to challenge myself. So I don't put it there for it to bring me down. I put it there so I can step up. So I think that's how it works for me. I mean, I don't really talk to people about it, but if I hear someone say something about me, which a lot of people say shit about me, I will somehow use it as fuel. I will use it like sometimes even they might not say anything. They might just look at me differently. I will just use it just to make it work for me mentally. Yeah, I'm full of drama lah, but for me that's how it works in terms of like to push myself a bit further, because for me I need that motivation to like to prove to people wrong, to prove people that I can be better, to prove to myself that I can be better. So I think that's how I see it.
Yeah, it sounds like you are a drama queen, lah, which you are. I'm glad that you actually noticed. Now, we already heard how. Okay, so my conclusion is that this seems to be something both you and Ridwan have, but Ridwan takes it as motivation, and he uses it as fuel, right, to make himself better. How about you? How do you cope with it? How do you overcome this kind of days, this kind of mindset that you have?
Usually, I will just sleep it off or go for a run. And yeah, after every training, it's like slowly get back up. My confidence get back up.
So you are the kind that needs to constantly be training
Yeah,
to kind of push away, uh, you know, the doubts inside your head.
yeah.
Well, I just want to say whatever that you did, or you are,
Working.
yeah, it was working because from what I see here, you went on to win another 3 in a row, right? So unanimous decision, another TKO, and then followed by another KO. Uh, and then after that, oh wait, so unanimous decision win, and then a TKO, and then you went to fight for the WBC International Silver Super Bantamweight title.
Yeah.
So that was fight number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6.
I think it's 5.
6.
I think it was your 6th fight.
6 fight, yeah.
Your 6th professional fight. You were fighting for a WBC title.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how does it feel to fight for the WBC?
How did you react when, probably Arvind told you that, hey, we're going to go and fight for the WBC title?
It's almost the same as like when he asked me, I want to turn pro. It's like the same feeling. Like, am I good enough? Like, yeah. But I've always wanted for WBC title, so I say, yeah, let's go. Let's give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just want to make it clear to our listeners who are not familiar with boxing. In boxing, there's a lot of belts. There's a lot of organizations. There's WBA, WBC, and
WBO, IBF. So these are the 4 main ones.
Yeah, so those are the 4 main ones. And we're not counting the thousands of others that there is. Like, just to be clear, the WBC title is different from a WBC Asia title, right? Because a WBC Asia is a different entity to WBC. Is that correct one?
I'm not sure, but I think WBC Asia, the base is in Thailand.
All right, so
I think so.
WBC Asia is here and WBC is here.
Yep.
Right? WBC is one of the top 4, right? Not like the belts that you fought for, the UFO, KFC, UOB, OCBC, DBS, all that one. So that's a huge fight. That's one of the 4 big titles. Ashiq, when you were training up for it, you were training up for it when you already won 5 in a row, 4 KOs, 4 TKOs. What were some of the challenges that you had leading up to the fight?
Yeah, were you getting beaten up in sparring leading to the fight?
Yeah.
Wow, then doesn't that mess up with your confidence?
Kind of, but I'm still like every day looking forward for that fight. Yeah, so I keep pushing myself every day, like training. Yeah. One problem was my injury. Actually, I had a wrist injury at that time. Yeah.
And I think you have big problems with cutting weight, right?
Yeah.
This cutting weight thing, I have heard about it before. So, how much weight do you cut when you fight?
Oh, at that time I fought at 55. I lost like about 14 kg.
You had to lose 14 kg?
Yeah.
This boy's huge.
And how long did you take to lose that 14 kg?
About 1.5 months or 2 months.
Wow. And what were you besides training, was there anything else you were doing to lose all this weight?
Yeah, every day I just keep running like mad, man.
I guess you like running then.
Yeah.
How long do you run for then? Like, how long do you, because you need to run quite a long distance before you actually start burning.
Yeah. Usually I run about 10 km. Yeah. One day, maybe once or twice.
Wow, okay.
Do you still have do you still have the power and speed when you go down that weight from 69 to 55 kilos?
Power, not really, but speed, yeah.
Power, not really, but knocking out people, huh?
Yeah.
Very good, nice.
Okay. But I have to ask also, whose decision was it for you to go down and lose that much weight?
Arvin's.
And what was his reason? Like, what did he tell you? What was his reason for you to go down to that weight?
He say I can be very strong at that weight. You know. So I just trust him.
I mean, at the end of the day, he's not lying, From your results, you were unbeaten and you had like 5 TKOs. It does look like you were in tip-top shape, at that weight class lah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you weigh in, which I imagine almost half did,
Yeah, skeleton, man.
right? 14 kg off. How much do you balloon up before the fight itself?
Before the fight, maybe about 6 kg.
Right. So you are fighting at 55, so 6 kg,
61.
61.
Yeah.
And when you cut weight, what is the one food that you miss the most?
Nasi biryani.
This guy.
Yeah.
My man, nasi biryani. So after we eat nasi biryani lah.
No.
After win then biryani.
Yeah.
Then how do you get 6 kg in 24 hours, dude?
I eat a lot of sweets actually. Chocolate.
Yeah, I think this is quite common, right? Eating chocolates. Like, what do you eat most of the time after you weigh in?
Usually chocolates and milk. Then I will have like pasta.
Carbs and stuff like that. What about you, Wan?
Me, I think I'll always have Pocari Sweat, banana. Then after that, I'll have my rice and chicken soup. Always chicken soup. Why? Because it's easy to cook and it's not spicy. It's easy for the body to absorb all those liquid and get back that weight. Because I will try to get back 5 kilos. Because like for example, I fight at 57. So 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 6, I will fight at 62. My usual training weight is 62. I spar at 62. So when I fight, I will slowly go down to 55, to 57. Then I go back up 5 kilos. That's enough for the fight.
Right. Okay. Let's fast forward it a bit then. Ashiq, you are going to fight. No, the day of the fight itself. Walk us through the whole fight itself. You're fighting in Singapore, of course. How did it feel going into the ring, knowing that you're fighting for one of the biggest titles in boxing?
Yeah, very excited. And yeah, in my head I was just like, I want to kill this guy. I need to get that title.
So do you know that you're going to win? Because now it doesn't look like you're very insecure about yourself. It's like you're gonna go out there and kill this guy. You're not gonna smile anymore. Do you know in the back of your mind before you walk out that you're going to win?
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that people have to know. I think what you believe, right, is usually going to happen. Because truthfully, if I were to say it now, in the dressing room again, I know this is not about me, but to just say it, in the dressing room against Ambunda, right, I sort of know in my head I'm going to lose the fight. I don't know why. I'm not putting reasons like, because sparring is not good, or because this is not good, I don't have this, I don't have that. It's just that in my head, for a brief second, oh shit, I'm going to lose this fight. But then after that, I started thinking that I would win. But my first thought was that I was going to lose. In my previous fights, never even for a second I thought I'm going to lose, even though it's a difficult fight. So I think that's one thing that mentality means when it comes to fighting. And in Ashiq's case, he got knocked down, I think, in the fight, right?
Yeah.
I was watching live and I think he got knocked down in the fight. Yeah. In first round, few seconds.
So all right. Ashiq, walk us through it. First round, fighting in front of the home crowd, fighting for the biggest title. You got knocked down in the first round. How, mentally, where were you? And okay, first tell us how you got knocked down, and then tell us how you felt after you got knocked down.
Oh yeah, I was throwing like lazy jab just to get the range and all. Then he suddenly threw an overhand right, and it landed. Then I straight away blacked out. Then I opened my eyes. I was like on the ground. Then mentally, I was like laughing at myself, like, what am I doing on the ground? Yeah.
Okay.
Then I got up. Then I told myself like, it doesn't hurt. Like sparring with bigger guys like Rahul or Rafi. Like, yeah, I can take hits, so I'm not afraid. Yeah.
And what went on to happen after that?
Yeah. Then he keeps throwing flurry of punches to me, things like he can knock me out. Then I'm just taking the shots, but let him throw until he's tired.
And then
So what's your strategy actually going to the fight?
Yeah, I read his timing and all. Then, like, I know what he's going to throw after the first round.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just like waiting for that body shot to happen.
Mhm. So I think it was in the news also. They said that nobody in that division throws a body shot like you. So I think you have a lot of faith in that body shot because it stopped a lot of people.
Yeah,
So do you knock people down with the body shot inspiring?
yeah, inspiring a lot. Also.
Then why are you so insecure?
all right. Wait. Before we even get into all that, so you throw that body shot, and you went on to win by knockout. Yes.
Yeah.
First knockout win.
How did it feel? How do you feel when you landed that punch and you actually knocked the guy out, and then you became a WBC champ?
Yeah, I actually wasn't satisfied with that knockdown. I wanted to beat him up more. Because he was a dirty boxer. He elbowed me, then he stepped on my foot, throw me down to the ground.
It really means something, when you're fighting against dirty boxers, it's really irritating and it's really painful. But then when you tell the story, right, it sounds so petty.
Why you step on my foot? Why you a boxer? Box him up.
That's why I don't say things like this when about my fight with Amundas, because I feel like it sounds so silly. So
But it's interesting how Ash, you don't feel satisfied, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure Arvin was probably carrying you up, right?
yeah, Arvin was like hugging him really, I see. And shouting his face, yeah, I don't know what he shouted. Just
But was there a moment where you're like, Arvin, get away from me, I still want to beat him up?
No.
So when did it sink in? When did it sink in that it's over, you are WBC champ?
Like when Arvin got into the ring, he's like raising his hand.
Then you snapped out of it lah.
Yeah.
Dah insaf lah kira kan.
Yeah. It's like I still wanted him to get up and fight me.
Maybe go send this guy. Dah jadi champ. But I mean, you must felt really happy and really relieved when you finally realized that you've kind of created history.
Yeah.
was there a lot of media attention after that?
Yeah, a lot.
You like it?
You like it?
No.
But that's part of fighting, right? I mean, that's part of professional fighting. You have to balance the media, and it's also, without the media, you cannot be promoting your fights. You cannot be doing what you need to do. I think Iman is one of the first few people who interviewed me for my WBA Asia. Is it? Yeah.
Unfortunately, I did. I should have waited for your WBC belt, Ashiq, instead of his stupid WBA Asian belt.
Be grateful. I gave you a career.
That he doesn't even know where he put.
I think fun fact, WBA comes before WBC. In terms of history, I think WBA is set up first.
Yeah, okay.
I think so.
Historian, we're not talking about you here.
I know.
Ashiq, did the girls treat you differently or no?
Or did you get girls?
I think so, but I don't realize.
Fantastic.
I don't realize. So you bring a belt to the club like that?
No.
I mean, what I'm trying to say is, did people start treating you differently after you've won the belt?
Not really. Like still the same.
I mean, that must be comforting for you, right? Because to know that people around you don't change just because you are a champ and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you've kind of created history here, bro. The first Singaporean to probably win one of the big four titles.
Super proud.
KO. So at that point of time, you had like 6 fights and 5 KOs, which is kind of impressive, right?
Yeah.
What was the plan after that? So after you win, you're the champ, 6 fights in, you have a WBC belt, What was the plans for you after that?
Fighting for the WBC Youth World title.
Yeah, that's a painful one.
Yeah, okay, talk to us about it. So what happened there?
Yeah, I think like what Ridhwan said, like before the fight, I have this thought like, what if I don't win? Then like, yeah, my mind wasn't really there.
Mm-hmm.
And especially the weight cut, like that was drastic weight cut. And I was kind of dehydrated. Maybe my brain was dehydrated.
Why was it a drastic weight cut? You got to fight last minute or what?
Not really last minute, but I think I didn't cut well.
Because honestly, when I heard that you're fighting this guy, I did my research and I'm like, oh shit. I mean, the guy didn't have an impressive record when before he fought you, but he's got extensive experience in professional Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And the way he fights is not like the typical Muay Thai guys. His hands are pretty good. And in my head, I was just like, oh, maybe. I mean, to be honest, as much as I wanted you to win, as much as I was rooting for you, I know that this is a bit too much for you at that point of time. And to be honest, I mean, I'm not saying that Arvin didn't judge your performance properly or what, but I really feel like it was too soon for you. And I'm amazed that he had that confidence that you can win.
Yeah.
What? Okay. Now, what do you feel about what Ridhwan just said?
Yeah, maybe it's true.
But at that point of time, you obviously did not feel that way.
Yeah. And also because I was turning 25, I think. Then it's like my last few months before I can hold a youth title.
Right. Okay. So you were gunning for that because sort of time was running out.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, you got knocked out for that fight.
Yeah.
Second round?
Yeah, second round.
When you came to be, what was the first things in your head?
I was actually pissed off. Like I thought they stopped it like prematurely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I told the ref like I still can continue. Like I know what's my name. I know my IC number.
IC number? Oh, fighting in Thailand, they ask you for your IC number. Okay, but I mean, so obviously, this is something that Ridhwan told me before the show and I didn't know. So at that point of time when you were fighting for the Youth World Super Bantam title, you were also the WBC International Silver Super Bantam title champion, right?
Yeah.
But according to Ridhwan, when you lose fighting for one belt, you also lose the other belt.
Yeah, correct.
Did you know that going in?
Actually, no, I didn't know.
So you wanted to bring home your belt, and then they say, hey, cannot. Were you shocked? Were you shocked when you knew?
Yeah, actually. Then restart from the bottom again.
Yeah, and then you become the former WBC International Super Bantamweight title.
Yeah.
So, someone needed to tell you, man.
Yes.
Someone needed to tell you the first thing even before you sign for the fight. Like, hey, got a chance you lose your belt though if you lose this. If you knew beforehand, would you still have gone and fight that fight?
Actually, yeah, I would say.
All right. Well, that's a positive mindset to have in the first place, because sometimes when you don't risk it, you don't win anything,
Yeah.
right?
I thought you say this kind of nice things to him, but when I fight Ambunda, it's like
You fight a Buddha is your pasal lah. You until now got so much excuses lah. Go toilet lah. Suddenly think about losing lah. Let it go, bro. How long ago was it?
can't
You're not-
remember. I think
you're
the guy's in jail probably now.
You're not even a fighter anymore. Let it go.
Yeah, dah habis. Time dah habis.
You're not even Singapore's number one pound for pound fighter already. Let it go.
But how do you take the loss mentally? I mean, okay, you lost that fight, you go back, you do the medical. What did you do that night? Leave out the funny things, but what did you do that night?
Okay, I don't know if I should say it here. But,
did you sleep? Did you sleep?
Wait. Only say it if you think you want to say it. You don't have to force yourself to say it.
Actually,
Ade, please take note of that. We might just have to bleep that out. But so for our listeners who listen to this after Adit bleep that out, Ashiq did something to relax himself, as you would in Thailand. You know what I mean? The land of smiles. So you need to smile all the time. I guess you were stressed out after losing her.
Just hungry.
Yeah, that leads you to becoming hungry. But from what I see, 2 months later you were fighting again, and you went on to win that fight, TKO. So everything was back to normal then?
Yeah.
Now, that was in 2009. So obviously your last fight was in June 2019. Sorry, 2019, not 2009.
So I was thinking.
But, I'm hearing things about you not wanting to fight anymore, or you not taking fighting seriously anymore. Look, you're 25.
Yeah.
COVID has thrown a lot of things into haywire. You became a COVID swab tester. But at the end of the day, what's the future right now? Is Mr. Fantastic still alive? Is Mr. Fantastic still wanting to fight or no?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Like, I don't feel like it's worth it anymore. Like, to go through all that, and at the same time I have like a medical condition.
Mm-hmm. You want to tell us about that or no?
Yeah, I have a mental illness actually. Yeah.
Do we have a name for it exactly or not?
Schizophrenia.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Wow.
So you found this out when?
Like last year around November actually.
So you found it after all the fights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So would you say this is the biggest reason why you don't want to fight anymore?
Yeah.
How does this affect you on a day-to-day basis then?
It's actually very tough. Like I hear a lot of people talking about me like negatively and all, but actually the people does not exist. Just that I believe all these people exist. Like when you're fighting, you have a lot of social media attention, interviews, and all. So I would get so afraid of it until I thought like people are actually looking at me, people are like spying on me. Yeah.
But I mean, you seem to be coping with it okay from the way that we've been talking so far. How do you tend to cope with it right now?
Yeah. Now since I know what is it all about, then I'm like, maybe if I hear something, I just ignore it. Or yeah,
But you're still not really out of boxing, right? I mean, you're still training people here and there.
yeah, correct.
Do you think you would ever leave boxing altogether, or is boxing something you actually need to cope?
Yeah, I think I still need boxing. Yeah.
Uh Look, I'm taken aback by all this because
Yeah.
it's a bit shocking.
Yeah. I think it seems like a bigger fight than. I think this fight with Skizo is probably a bigger fight than the fight for the WBC international title. Because I think people need to realize that fights outside of the ring are more tougher than fights inside, because you need to get through the battles outside the ring first before you can actually even make it into the ring. And for Ashiq to actually be, I think, fighting schizophrenia, to go through his teenage life, then his title fight, I think that really says a lot. Whoa, true fighter.
uh, how do I say this? For me, it's to me you're a champ, man. Look at it this way, right? You were not just fighting someone inside the ring, but you were actually fighting something else outside the ring all the time, also at the same time. And you've gone on to win one of the biggest boxing titles ever. And you were the first Singaporean to win it, to do it also. So, to me, it feels like you've had so many TKOs in your fight career, but actually they are like worth a lot more than just a TKO because you were fighting more than just a fighter inside the ring. Uh, I don't know what this mental illness is about. I'm not going to feign ignorance and think that I do. But I think overall, it's quite fitting also because that we're talking about this right now because I think World Mental Health Day is coming around the corner also when this comes out.
Yeah.
What I can say about my conversation with you, Ashiq, so far is that there's a lot of things for you to be proud of that you've accomplished. And there's a lot of things that we, boxing fans in Singapore, especially, are proud of that you have accomplished also. And on top of that, dude, listen, you not only were you doing stuff in the ring for Singaporeans and stuff like that, but right now you are a frontliner, digging people's nose. How much braver can this guy get, man? So yeah, I just before we wrap this up, I just want you to know that what you've done in the ring is truly appreciated, and we are truly proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that you came on this show and you decided to share with us your experience and also what you're fighting with right now. And I want you to know that the Wan Man Show supports you in your fight, and we will always be in your corner for this fight. And hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully, we see you in the ring again one day. I don't know. I mean, you're 25. And from the record that I see, your boxing record so far, it's truly is fantastic what you have done, Mr. Fantastic. So thank you so much for being on the show, man.
Okay. No problem.
Do you have anything you want to say to people out there who have been following your career, or any of your friends, any of your fans, before we go?
Um, no, I would just like to say thank you for being there. Yeah, that's all.
Who are the important people in your life right now?
My mom and my
The cat. I knew it.
How many cats have you got?
No, I left one cat.
The
I
rest
used to
of
have 16 cats.
Wow.
So wait, okay, what happened to the other 15?
I give away to other people.
Yeah, I have one cat and I already find him quite difficult to
Yeah.
maintain. I mean, I find myself difficult to maintain, and I have a cat and a daughter at the same time, so I have no idea what I'm doing with my life. One, do you have any parting shots that you want to say to Ashiq, before we wrap things up?
I don't know, man. I think Ashiq, you are a brave guy. I think whatever it is, I think maybe the fight in your head is going to continue for a very long time. But find a way, I guess, to remember the things that you've done for us, for the sport. And I think, at least for me, I'm truly grateful for what you've done for us. So if you feel like you need to leave the sport for yourself, I think that's a very brave thing to do. Not many people can do that. Not even me can do that with a peace of heart, with a peace of mind. And I think you've done more than you are meant to do. So I think you should always be proud of this moment. And I think no matter how bad the voices are, I think you should always remember that voice that keeps you going. Because I think there's a lot of people that's willing to help you and do reach out. We always be in your corner. The One Man Show will always, as long as we're alive, lah. So yeah, and a few other people for sure.
Right. Okay. Before we all start crying in the toilet or in the shower, before we all shadow box. I don't shadow box in the shower.
Silat, buka puncak silat.
Yeah, probably. I think it's very important for us to address one thing here. This is Ashiq's condition and revelation is something that took us by surprise. So if you guys think in any point of, before we reached that point where he told us that, if you guys think that we were not being sensitive or stuff like that, please know that we did not know about his condition going into this. And Ashiq, if we offended you in any way, we're really sorry. Please don't punch us in the face. I mean, punch one, but don't punch me. I don't know.
No, you just swap your nose, lah, bro.
Yeah, you can swap my nose anytime, dude. So yeah, I hope we didn't offend you in any way. Like I said, we think that you're a big hero. Instead of you fanboying over one, I think one is the one who is
fanboying over you.
Mr. Fantastique himself. On top of that, I think anybody who's listening to this who is facing any mental health issues, please do not keep it in. Reach out to all the help that you guys can get. Pretty sure there are a lot of avenues that you guys can reach out to for help and stuff like that. And we from the One Man Show, we hope that everybody facing mental health issues, come out stronger. We are always in your corner because we like fighters and we think that everybody with mental health issues are fighters. And yeah, on top of that, before we go off, the usual big thanks to frontliners who are keeping us safe from this pandemic times. We actually have one frontliner here with us today, Ashiq, who digs other people's nose more than he digs his own nose. So thank you so much for being, for spending time with us and talking to us, Ashiq. And also thank you for keeping us safe to a certain extent. We hope to see you soon in person so that we can truly let you know how much you mean to us. So yeah, we're going to end it with that. This is the One Man Show, the number one fight podcast in Singapore, because we're the only fight podcast in Singapore. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and Instagram at the same handle. This is the One Man Show, and we're out. Bye, guys.
Bye.
How do you introduce yourself to girls? Is it Mr. Fantastic or is it Ashiq?